quite honestly, anybody that's not doing well in this market, there's something wrong.
Hello, this is Mark Silverman, managing member and founder of Silverman & Associates, and I'm also a certified financial planner professional. I want to welcome you to the Saving with Silverman podcast. I'm glad you're here. Each week, we'll discuss different financial planning topics because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life.
Hey, let's go to the mailbag because we have some great questions that have come in. The first one is from Carl in Vail. Carl says, my mom died last year and we're about to sell her house. I'll be getting about $150,000 from that sale, and I don't need the money, so I want to just give it to my daughter so that she can get her student loans and other debts paid off. Can I just wire the money directly to her after I get it from the sale, or will that create some kind of problem for me?
Well, Carl, great question, and I'm sorry for your loss. I will say this, if anybody's listening and they want to submit a question, feel free to go to our website, which is savingwithsilverman.com. If you click the radio tab, there's a place to put your question on there. And if you do submit it, there's a high likelihood that we will answer your question here on the air, which is what Carl has done. So, again, sorry for your loss, Carl. I will say I am not a CPA, so we're not legally allowed to give tax advice. But I will tell you this, depending on inheritance and the estate situation, you may have some taxes due, so just wiring the money to your daughter's account might not be the best option. If you have a CPA, I would reach out to them and let them know if you have an estate, if there was a trust involved, a estate planning attorney involved, you want to probably get them involved in that conversation as well. But, you want to make sure that you don't do something that's going to bite you later on. So there could be some situations where there might be some taxes due or estate taxes due, whatever it might be. So again, you want to find that out first, and then gifting the money to your daughter, there could be some issues there if you're gifting too much. So again, and I'm not allowed to give tax advice, so it's kind of a tricky question. But I will say, reach out to your CPA, or if you don't have a CPA, you can reach out to us, and I'm happy to provide you a name of somebody here in town that does good work and go from there. But great question.
Yeah, good question, Carl. And just make sure you're doing the right thing before you do it, because, those things can't be taken back once you do make that decision. And we're talking about a lot of money here. Next question here is from Laura in Green Valley. And Laura says, I'm a federal employee. I'll have a nice pension when I retire next year, but I'm wondering about the money in my TSP. Should I keep it invested there, or should I move it to someplace else?
Sure. Well, great question, Laura, and nice that you have a pension. We don't see too many of those these days, so feel fortunate that you have that. As far as a TSP, and this actually goes with anybody, whether TSP, Thrift Savings Plan, which is basically a 401k for government workers, or a 401k or 403b, once you leave your employer, it always makes sense to roll it to an IRA account. Whether it's all traditional or Roth or a combination of the two, it always makes sense because you're really unlocking more choices and you're more in control of that money. That's something we can help you do. But, and TSP is a decent plan, but it is limited as far as what your choices are versus rolling it to an IRA, which is not a taxable thing. If it's done correctly, you have unlimited choices. You can do anything you want with it, as far as securities that are involved, whether it be mutual funds, ETFs, stocks, bonds, etc. You're not limited to just the core choices that you would have in the TSP. So it always makes sense to roll it over once you leave, for sure. And again, that applies to all retirement plans, in my opinion.
Thanks for the question, Laura. You're listening to Saving with Silverman with Mark Silverman, Silverman & Associates in Tucson. And our next question is from right here in Tucson, Eddie. Eddie says, I've managed my money myself over the years, and I have to say I've done pretty well. Everybody tells me I should have a financial advisor now that I'm about to retire, but I'm having trouble with the concept of turning it all over to somebody else since I've proven that I can do it myself. What's your argument for why I should have someone else manage my money?
Well, that's a great question, Eddie. So, and you should have done well. I mean, we're talking about one of the longest bull markets we've ever had. Quite honestly, anybody that's not doing well in this market, there's something wrong. It's hard not to do well. But could you have done better, or can you be doing better? And my answer to that is probably. So, we do financial planning for all of our clients, so it's not just looking at the investments, but looking at your overall financial picture. The tax planning piece, the estate planning piece, obviously the investment piece, the insurance piece, the legacy planning, education piece, the risk piece. There's lots of different parts of your financial puzzle that need to be taken in consideration, and making sure that you're making the best decision with all of those intact. Again, it's not about how much money you're making, it's about how much money you're making after fees and taxes are paid. And certain decisions require more than just picking investments out of the air and deciding which ones you should be in. There's a strategy that's involved. And, I've been doing this 27 years now, and I can tell you there's always more to learn. And that keeps me on my toes as far as learning more and more about the investments. And we've developed a great process as far as for our clients and making sure we're putting them in the right place and the right risk at all times by looking at their overall financial plan. If you want to manage your money yourself, we have some clients that want to do that. Most of our clients, we do manage their money, but we do planning as a separate piece for clients that just want us to put a financial plan together for them and look at their plan, and they want to continue to manage their assets themselves. So that's something we do offer as well. So again, without seeing your situation, I can't tell you the specific reasons of how you might benefit from our services. But if you want to reach out, happy to have a conversation with you, and we can get more detail with your situation and the services we provide.
You've been listening to the Saving with Silverman podcast. If you have any questions at all about your financial situation, please give Mark Silverman a call. Again, his number is 520-333-7601, or go online to savingwithsilverman.com. For Mark Silverman, I'm Ron Stutz. We'll see you next time on the Saving with Silverman podcast.
The Saving with Silverman podcast is brought to you by Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, based in Tucson, Arizona. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show on your favorite app today and never miss an episode. Just search for Saving with Silverman to find us, or visit savingwithsilverman.com to listen to past episodes, to contact Mark, and to learn more about how to make smarter decisions with your money.
Did you know that Mark Silverman also has a radio show? Tune in to Saving with Silverman Saturdays and Sundays at 3 p.m. on AM 790 KNST.
All matters discussed on this show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC makes no representation as to its accuracy or completeness. This show shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or investment advisory services to residents of any state other than Arizona or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Fee-based financial planning and investment advisory services offered through Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Arizona. Insurance products and services are offered through Silverman & Associates, an affiliated company.